Hello and welcome to the Madhouse everyone, Tridot here, and I'm glad to present you guys build 30 that basically arrived today. I'm not really late for this one, I am actually quite on schedule, and I want to present you guys and go over the changes that also give you my personal input on a few things in here. Now I'm not going to go into detail because, you know, everyone has the patch notes right here. They can just read them. I'm just going to go over the big and major, really huge stuff that, in my opinion, Build 30 brought us. So let's start from the beginning. Major new features. A tuning pass has been done on all masteries to improve underperforming skills and general performance. Added Devotion Shrine world map icons. If you discover a shrine but do not restore it, its location will be marked on the world map. When you restore the shrine, it will be checked off. This is really good. A lot of people have been pushing for it to do this. Art. Updated the artwork for Kane's world map. This is incredible. I mean it. It's absolutely insane. It looks incredibly good. Down to tech. I think this is really important. Holding control while comparing weapon DPS will now also hide augments. And let's go into the game. There is a lot to talk about here. The final boss encounter has received a tuning pass. On normal veteran difficulty, the boss now spawns Chthonians with reduced frequency and the summons have less health. The tentacle summons have had their health reduced and no longer cast additional void zones. The void zones last for a shorter duration. The amount of chaos and vitality damage dealt by the boss has been reduced. On Elite and Ultimate difficulty, and I will go back to this, the boss has received a slight damage bonus on several of its abilities and some of its spawns are now more dangerous. On all difficulties, diversify the damage dealt by the boss's summons so that a more general spread of resistances will be required rather than stacking chaos and vitality resistance. The boss's chaos barrage now deals a combination of fire and chaos damage instead of vitality and chaos. The area in front of the boss has been slightly enlarged, and more pets can now target it at the same time. Added an additional chest to the final boss as reward for overcoming the challenge. And ultimate difficulty enemy offensive ability and defensive ability scaling reduced, enemy life and damage bonuses reduced, slight adjustments to ultimate as well. Right, so I said I would go back to this part in here. The rest is pretty much self-explanatory. Of course, the boss was too hard on normal veteran, and after that was still pretty dicey. Basically it says here that the boss has received a slight damage bonus on several of its abilities and some of its spawns are now more dangerous. Okay, but this was after this thing applied here, and overall it resulted in a nerf to the boss, not actually a buff. Now I tested this because I was a little bit unsure of it, and on Ultimate it was still pretty easy for my characters to clear the Lochorian. So it's not that bad as it sounds, you know. You have to take things into perspective and, you know, really read with pay attention to what you're reading in here, because some things are not as they sound. Destroying the three blood wagons now opens the final crypt permanently. It is now possible to destroy the blood wagons across multiple sessions for the quest without having to destroy all three again. Basically you can farm the Lochorian a lot easier right now. It is no longer possible to open rift gates within the chamber of the final boss, but a shortcut now opens to the area upon defeating Bloodlord Thalonis. It was needed. People were sort of just, you know, I wouldn't say glitch, but, you know, doing it pretty stupidly with portals and all that. So overall, great change. Legendary item drop rates have been adjusted based on difficulty. They are now significantly reduced on normal, veteran difficulty, remain the same as before on Elite, and have been increased by about 40% on Ultimate. Great stuff, great stuff. Special chests in roguelike dungeons. Example, a big chest after the final boss now have an increased chance of dropping legendary items to equalize them with the effort required. Great stuff in here. Gives us incentive to do Steps of Torment and Bastion of Chaos. Due to their comparably limited spawn locations in relation to other Nemesis bosses, the Nemesis spawns for Kimon's Chosen Order of Death's Vigil no longer have a 100% chance to appear. Now I think this is a pretty bad decision, because a lot of us have been farming those bosses and it was really easy to get them. I know this is why they changed it, but still. Basically they are not guaranteed to spawn in a game session. If you do not find them, then just exit the game, make a new game session, and then, you know, test your luck again. sort of. Epic item drop rates have now slightly increased on on elite difficulty, and then increased again on ultimate. Fixed an issue with Bane of Cain quest, last one, not rewarding a legendary item if the player was too low level to receive one. The list of legendary items you can receive from this quest has been reduced. Slightly increased the drop rates of Manticore eyes from boss and hero Manticores, doubled the drop rate from champion Manticores. The avatar of Mogdragon is now easier on normal difficulty, but instead drops an epic version of his unique shoulders. Yeah, I'm glad that I did him before this thing happened. To emphasize the function and relative power of each, percent total damage and damage modified by percent have been changed to percent all damage and total damage modified by percent respectively. Basically nothing changed, just the spelling. Which, okay, it was a little bit vague. But yeah, it's going to take us a little bit of time to get used to this. Increased spawns from corrupted devotion shrines on elite ultimate difficulty, with the exception of the Steps of Torment shrine, which had its armada of bone golems toned down. Yes. Increase the level gap between the player level and the monster level, before which rare crafting materials stop dropping by 10. Basically you can farm monsters that are 10 levels above and below you. Most importantly would be below, I would guess, because you cannot actually take them 10 levels above. Yeah. Diversify damage dealt by Chthonian enemies so that they are not almost exclusively chaos and vitality. Reduce stun, freeze, and other CC resists on hero and bosses. Player default attacks and cast speed slightly increased. However, there is a new cap of 200 cast speed. I believe it is the same for attack speed. So it doesn't really matter a lot. It will only affect builds that were really focused on attack and cast speed, basically. There are a few builds that are going to be affected by this, but not a lot. And of course, Locksmere Knight Mage, I would presume. Energy burn reduced and spawn set so that he will only appear at level 60 plus. I have a VOD on Twitch about that little guy. Pretty cool guy. Yeah, awesome. Now, a lot of legendary items have been sort of redesigned-ish. They have been just changed a little bit. So this is not going to be in the patch notes, but definitely check your legendary items out. Now, into itemization, we have a few important things around here. Basically, for me, it's going to be Shout of Baronath. Reduced percentile damage on skill, but added percent elemental damage. Removed offensive ability bonus. This is pretty big for Blade Masters, quite a huge hit. And then we have Troll Rage, slightly increased physical damage bonus and reduced offensive ability penalty on skill, but removed percent attack speed bonus. I would say this is a little bit of a nerf as well. The rest of stuff, if you are interested, you can just read here on itemization. It's not sort of really specific stuff. Legendary items, we have two new level 75 force set pieces, which I have not found. Basically, we have Chosen's Ascension for Cold Lightning build, favoring the Canistan Shaman, and then we have Valdan's Treachery for Pierce Physical two-handed ranged builds favoring Soldier and Demolitionist. Some people are going to find them, I would say, pretty soon. So you know, just wait a little bit and you guys will be able to see the items. Also, we have a new legendary sword, Reaver's Claw, for physical Pierce builds. And that is pretty much it there. We are going to go into Devotion. Now, basically, offensive ability from Devotion got nerfed. Yeah. I saw it coming, but I still don't understand it because, well, it wasn't that OP really. And another pretty new OP stuff in here. Let me just find it. There was something around here. Spear of the Heavens. Increased proc rate to 50%, added 1 second stun. That would be pretty fun. We are going to go into classes next, and this is the final category basically. Soldier Mastery life bonus reduced from 30 per point to 28, while energy has increased from 8 to 10. Menhir's will cooldown now decreases with rank to 16 seconds at rank 60, 12 seconds at max ultimate rank. To balance this, duration has been cut from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. Blade arc animation speed increased slightly. Discord bonuses updated, now converts up to 50% of physical damage to elemental, so it is now possible to have an elemental soldier. Really cool stuff in here. I will mention the tremor, reduced weapon percent damage penalty on from minus 75% to minus 70%, and damage modifier from minus 30% to minus 20%. This is quite a big buff, I would say. And some really cute stuff around here. Oleron's Rage, attack speed moved back to squad tactics, and percent offensive ability slightly reduced, and squad tactics at percent attack speed returned. Percent movement speed shifted to Oleron's Rage. Basically, these two like to trade stuff with each other. Here, take my attack speed. No, I want it back. Okay, you take this. Pretty cool stuff. And of course, I'm really happy to see this blindside enemy damage reduction removed altogether. Just removed, not decreased. Now, just removed. As it was redundant with Warcry, and the skill is powerful enough without it. Warcry enemy damage reduction scaled down. Thank you. Demolitionist. Blackwater Cocktail damage increased slightly and max radius scaled up from 5 meters to 5.8 meters. Fire Strike damage scaling with rank increased. High impact resistance reduction removed altogether, which I'm really unhappy about, but fine, because Demolitionists don't really have a lot of resistance reduction on mobs. And I don't have a skill that does percent weapon damage on my Grenadier, meaning I cannot do that with Devotion either, so I'm stuck with no resistance reduction. Awful. Okay. Stun Jacks, physical damage and lightning damage increased. Quick Jacks damage modifier adjusted relative to base skill damage changes. Energy reduction increased. Full Spread, electrocute damage increased. Internal trauma damage added. Max projectile count decreased by 1. I would say this is still a buff. Canister bomb damage slightly reduced, cooldown adjusted from 7.5 seconds to 8 seconds, and fragments now have a minimum number 2 less than the max. I have no clue what that means. Grenado radius slightly increased, physical and pierce damage increased, physical damage range tightened up for greater consistency, and high impact fire damage now starts lower but scales to a higher max, and the chance of percent physical starts higher and now scales to 75% up from 50%. And another important thing to wrap up the Demolitionist, we have Blast Shield converted to a skill that activates on 75% health, providing a significant defensive boost for a short duration. Now in theory this is going to be really good, so I definitely would recommend you guys check it out. Into the Occultist we go, and some important stuff. Blood of Dree cooldown reduced from 25 seconds to 12 seconds, allowing it to be continuously active. Really nice. The heal got buffed from 50% to 25 and 30% at max ultimate rank. Really nice stuff. Solal's Witchfire did sort of a Oleron's Rage thing here. Chaos Conversion swapped with Consecrated Blades, percent offensive ability bonus, percent poison damage added, increased. It seemed better to make the conversion optimal. Consecrated Blade, percent offensive ability swapped for Chaos Conversion. Basically doesn't mean much, the stuff is still there, but instead of a 1 point magic modifier that used to be for 5% offensive ability, now we have to invest more points if we want the same. Possession has been converted into a toggled exclusive buff skill like Oleron's Rage and is really good. Check it out. Nightblade, Shadow Dance, dodge and deflect values increased. Slightly Elemental Awakening, Cold Resist changed to Elemental Resist. And here we go, guys. Phantasmal Blades and its transmitter have been reverted to their original form, where the transmitter, renamed Frenetic Throw, removes cooldown. The skill and transmitter have received corresponding damage and penalty adjustments. It was always preferred that the skill should work that way, but prior to our addition of total damage modifications, it was not possible to adequately balance the transmitter. Don't panic by this. A lot of people are panicking about it. It's still good. Check it out. Really, it works fine. Also, Blade Spirit, attack aura damage and Blade Shower damage increased significantly. Veil of Shadow radius scaling increased from 5 meters to 6 meters at max rank. Ring of Steel range increased slightly. And a minor to moderate damage stream has been undertaken to dual blades, Begothian Shears, Amarastas Quick Cut, Whirling Death, and Execution to bring down Nightblade clear speed a little. I don't know about that. You guys decide. I don't like this thing, really. I think Nightblade was okay. I have not checked to see how bad it is. But still, I thought and still think that the Nightblade would be fine. Arcanist, Reckless Power and its modifiers have been redesigned as exclusive skills intended for Ether Fire and Cold Lightning builds, respectively. Both exclusive skills are in tier 9. The Reckless Power Transmitter Unlimited Power no longer affects any skill and will be removed with build 31. Unlearn those points or they will be lost to the Chthonic Void. Seriously, do it. Otherwise you will basically screw your character really badly. Just do it. Proliferation has had its damage significantly increased. These additional fragments are now deal other damage and are visually distinct from regular fragments. Move to tier 8. Conversion. Bonus values adjusted so the skill does not give such a large return at a single point. Bonuses scale up to the original value by rank 12 and remain unchanged ultimate ranks. This is an okay change. I agree with it, although it hurts me, but fine. Maven Sphere. Projectile avoidance removed. Percent cast speed penalty and minus all damage replaced with scaling. Total damage modified by minus percent. Damage absorption now scales less quickly to 25 at rank 12. Previously, this skill only really penalized casters and was too attractive for melee. Yes, this is really good. Olexa's Flash Freeze. Freeze duration increased. Radius expanded from 10 to 16 meters at max rank. Damage increased and cooldown reduced. And Devastation is now truly bloody devastating and launches multiple waves of projectiles at intervals over duration as you fight. Let's have a little bit of fun with my least favorite class, the Shaman. Wendigo Totem. Watch this. Percent heal increased. Mogdragon's Pact. Health regeneration increased slightly. Heart of the Wild. Percent health scaling with rank increased. Oak Skin. Pierce resist and armor scaling with rank, you guessed it, increased. Added percent health regeneration bonus. Devouring Swarm. Bleed damage and damage converted to health increased. Primal Strike. The area of effect aspect of this skill now functions with two-handed ranged weapons and damage has been increased. Torrent now strikes from the initial target hit by Primal Strike rather than from the caster. Thunderous Strike can now be used with two-handed ranged weapons, and percent weapon damage and percent total damage modifier penalties have been reduced. Emboldening Roar. Percent all damage and offensive ability increased. Physical and vitality resists added. Duration and cooldown reduced. This is a pretty big buff to Emboldening Roar. And with this, we are going to wrap up this build 30 pretty much sort of review and explanation. I gave you guys my personal opinions on what was changed. Also, I have to announce that I am going to update all of my builds. I plan to do so over the weekend, and I'm working on it as of right now. So really, I thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoy build 30. It is a pretty good build. I am enjoying it. I think it overall did a pretty good job fixing the stuff that had to be fixed. So I thank you for watching again. I'm Tridode. If you like this video, please subscribe and I shall see you all next time.